What's going on, everybody? So, as you can see, I got the Friday Night Smackdown review. Uh, I said, you know what? I'm gonna give you that review, and then you're gonna get my review for Money in the Bank. And if I don't know if we're doing it live for Money in the Bank, but if not, on Wrestling Pit podcast, if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe there. But if not, then I'll do a review for there too. Um, but with that being said, of course they kicked off by recapping what happened to Paul Heyman and them. What happened to Paul Heyman with the bloodline and stuff last week, and we will see that. No, did they? No, I don't think they recap. They sold the recap, but I don't think that was at the beginning. So I can't remember what they did. I think they just saw like people arriving to the arena. And that's what they did. And then we get to the first segment of the night, which is which I like to call the Money in the Bank group segment. That is just where everybody in the man's Money in the Bank just came out. Like Jey Uso was the first to come out. You know, he welcomed everybody to Friday Night SmackDown, and he said, you know, he did his whole Jey Uso is not in your city. He thanked everybody for cheering for him because they let him into the city, as you know, because if you got like most countries don't allow people with criminal criminal records to enter their city, but some things can be worked out. But Jey Uso basically it's just your typical, we're going to talk about why I'm going to win Money in the Bank. You get interrupted by somebody. I think in this case, he was interrupted by LA Knight. LA Knight told him why he was going to win. They had like a yeah and yeet, battle that turned into a stare down, like they was getting ready to fight. But they would get interrupted by Carmelo Hayes, who was talking about why he's going to win, like why they not going to win. But he would get interrupted by Chad Gable, who was doing the same thing, but he would get interrupted by Andrade, and then Andrade would get interrupted by Drew McIntyre, so on and so forth. You get the drill. Everybody just basically came out to talk about why they were going to win Money in the Bank, and then it ended up with a brawl, I think, with LA Knight and Jey Uso still standing tall in the ring. So that was your first segment. Then we got Bayley backstage promo when they was interviewing her about her being a former Money in the Bank winner and what it takes to cash in and become champion. And she was telling them it was all about timing and whatnot, but she would get interrupted by Chelsea Green, who says that when she wins the Money in the Bank, she's going to be coming for Bayley's title. But then Bayley would get attacked from behind by Piper Niven, and she said that when the next time Piper Niven attacks her like that, she'll be cashing in as well. Then before we could get the first match of the night, we got a part 2 or follow up on that Bayley promo where Bayley she was coming out of Nick Aldis' room. We didn't see Nick Aldis. You don't see Nick Aldis all day, but it's assumed that he's there. But she came out the room to Naomi to find Naomi standing there, and Naomi was checking up on her, asked her was she okay, and she said, yeah, I'm okay, but she said she's tired of Chelsea and Piper, and she set herself up for a match with Piper later on tonight. Then we get the first match of the night, which is the Street Profits versus the Yes Boys, the Pretty Deadly, or just Pretty Deadly. I said the Pretty Deadly, but it's Pretty Deadly. This was a good one. This was the first time in a long time that we seen Pretty Deadly on the card. Like, I haven't seen Pretty Deadly wrestle in like a couple of months now, but yeah. This was a good tag team match between the two. It was just like I said. It was very good to see them. They had some good spots though. This match had some good spots. It was just good to see that Pretty Deadly get that. I honestly, I might not like Pretty Deadly, but they need a push because we need another heel team to get a push. After what we'll get to later on tonight. Um, but pretty good, solid tag team match, which the Street Profits getting the victory. Um, then we got Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, where Grayson, he came to with Austin Theory. I mean, coming to Grayson about his concerns that he's been thinking about what Austin, what Johnny Gargano said, but Austin Theory is reassured by Grayson Waller that he's not using him, he's not doing anything of the such, and that they're just trying to get into their heads and stuff and take the titles from them, and that they got to get pumped and ready and go out there to show that we are on the same page, that we are good. And this gets him up. This gets Austin Theory pumped and amped as they get ready and warm up to go defend their titles tonight. Then that's where we get that. This is the part where we get like before the second match started, we get like the Paul Heyman recap of what happened with him in the Bloodline, with them just putting him through the table and stuff, as to hype up their little promo, to hype up their promo for later on the night. And then we get the second match, which is Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And this was a good match. I enjoyed it. It was a thing, at least for the first two matches, it was a theme of tag teams. Because I think other than, this was a tag team. This was a tag team night because the only you could tell Triple H was running this because there was only one match that was a one-on-one, and every other match was tag team matches. And if you don't know why I say that, it's because Triple H is a known fan of tag team wrestling. Like he has stated before, and a lot of times in the past, that he loves tag team wrestling. So it shows in his booking that it shows in his booking, like with this card, that he made majority of the matches on SmackDown tag team matches. But this was a good match with Indy and Jade. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae and Bianca and Jade. This was a good one. You know what? They got a lot more offense in that I would have thought they would have got in. I thought this would be a squash match. Anytime I see Jade and Bianca, you would think it would be a squash match because them two are powerhouses. But no, they got some good offense in. They and I'm glad they did because it puts Jade over even more. Instead of being a squash match, they had an actual good match to put Jade over. I mean, it was because it was more for the benefit. Well, this match benefited both Jade, Indy, and Candice more so than Bianca. Bianca's already over, but this match puts Indy, Jade, and Candice over more because Indy and Candice don't get enough screen time or shine. So now them getting some shine like this actually helps their stock. But this was a pretty good match. I enjoyed it. I think the ending came where after a pump kick from Jade to Candice, Jade and Bianca would hit Candice and Indy with both jaded and the KOD and sorry, my best friend was calling me. They were hit, with Jada and KLD, and thus we will get the victors of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, who did a promo afterwards saying that they're going to get their tag team titles back. They plan on getting their tag team titles back. Everybody, you see how I'm trying to do a video? Everybody texting me right now. Huh? I did not mean to call him. No. Sorry, guys, that was very unprofessional of me. Had to text all these people. Anyway, just ignore that part. Uh, but yeah, so then after that, we get the Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton promo, where they come out and talk about ending the bloodline once and for all. But the major impact of this promo is that we heard from Kevin Owens that he's been in Toronto. He's been back at his home and back in Canada, Canada in Quebec, because unfortunately Monday he was told that his mother was in the hospital, so he had to fly out, and that's where he been at. He said he could have stayed home, and nobody would have, you know, blinked the eye or got mad or upset because it's his mom. His mom is in the hospital, fighting, fighting for her life, but he showed up anyway because he said it would have been a problem. Nobody would have had a problem with him staying home except for one person, and that was his mom. His mom wants him. His mom. This was his dream, and she would want him to be there, doing what he loved, doing his dream more so than just staying at home, being by her bedside. So they all vowed basically after he explained that, they all vowed to basically end the bloodline once and for all. Then we got the third match of the night, which is our only one-on-one match of the night, which is Bayley versus Piper Niven. And this was a good one. This was a what was this? A Clash at the Castle rematch. This was a good one. I enjoyed it. Um, I I would have preferred they not use this just for the women's version of the Money in the Bank, because like they combined this match with like the women's version of the Money in the Bank ladder match promo from earlier with the men's. That was the only thing I did not like about it, was that after a while of them fighting, it turned into, because like I knew it was gonna happen because EO was they showed EO there out of nowhere, just being there at ringside watching the match. And then once it got to a certain point, everybody showed up from both Raw and SmackDown. Zoe Starr, Lara Valkyria, as I said, EO, Tiffany Stratton. They all just start showing up, brawling, uh, like distracting everybody. I think Bayley tried to attack Tiffany, who was like on the ropes about to do her prettiest moonsault, and then she would get that. Due to the distraction, she would get the victory over Piper with the rosebud, but then she would get attacked by Nia Jax, who was getting ready to do her finisher. I forgot the Annihilator. I almost forgot the name of it, but the Annihilator. She was about to do that, but then she would get attacked by a Kindle stick wielding Mia Yim. And I think I was wrong. I think I said in my last review for SmackDown that this week Nia Jax and then was going to go one-on-one. I thought that match was made official, but apparently no. This match was not. Cause she was talking to Adam Pearce, so I guess I just assumed that the match got made official. But now it got made official. The next Friday we're going to get Mia versus Nia. Um, but yeah, she will fend off Nia with the kendo stick for Bayley and Mia to stand tall in the ring, while Nia and Tiffany walks away, and the other women's Money in the Bank competitors was also there at ringside watching as Bayley and Mia stand tall. Um, then we'll get a DIY promo, basically talking about how the success they had in this building, and that this is where they became NXT Tag Team Champions, and this is where they will become the new WWE Tag Team Champions. And I think the camera will follow them. They were like the shot of the night that the camera will follow them from the back to the stage, and thus we get the main event, which is DIY versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And this was a good one. This was the best. I would say out of all the matches, this was the match of the night for real. And and for good reason. This was a match of the night. Um, oh Lord, but yes, this was good. This was a great match. Actually, I shouldn't say good. This was a great match. Um, Great spots from both DIY and Austin Theory. This had as many near falls as you would think it would. That's what got the crowd into it. Just the near fall at the near falls, especially when the near falls looked like it was going to be the end of the match. Um, but the end of the match would come where um, I would say Johnny Gargano had Grayson Waller in a submission hold where it looked like Grayson was going to tap, and as it looked like Grayson, because he had like some type of choke submission hold, and it looked like Grayson was about to go like this, but as he was about to, you'll see Austin Theory grab his hand, be like, "No, don't tap, I'm saving you," and then Ciampa would get in the ring and put Grayson, Austin Theory in the submission hall as well. And as they both were sitting there in the submission hall with nowhere to go, Grayson Waller, who was the legal, because Grayson and Johnny was the legal man, Grayson would tap, and we get new WWE Tag Team Champions in the form of DIY. DI! 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 DIY. DIY is your new WWE Tag Team Champion. Sorry, I did that. It probably was horrible. Then in the middle of their celebration, after they had the little fireworks and stuff, and it says DIY your new Tag Team Champions, we would cut to the final segment, which this is where I have a problem with this the Bloodline promo, is that it was pretty much just like it was like a video package that they played at the end of the show for the final, like maybe 5 minutes or whatever. But the Bloodline did cut a promo where they said that he when Solo talked about the Lays, the Ula Fala, I think he called them, and said that this makes him the new tribal chief, and that I don't even think they directly addressed what happened to Paul Heyman, but he basically said that the reason why he's the new tribal chief is because Roman failed to protect their championship and their family's legacy and whatnot, and since Roman failed to do that, he is not up to him to become the new tribal chief, and that he will be going after not Roman, but Cody Rhodes to get back the WWE Undisputed Championship. And that when he gets it back, if Roman wants it back and wants not only the title back, but the title of tribal chief, he would have to come and take it from him. And they all would put up the ones as that's the Samoan Wolf will put the legs over Solo Sikoa to end the show. This was a good one. I wish the end of this segment actually had more time than it did, like the promo with the Bloodline. But other than that, everything else was good. We had that great main event and some solid good matches and promos. I'm going to give this, I'll say an 8 out of 10. Yeah, give it an 8 out of 10. Big guys, but you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed my review, you know what to do. You hit this button right there for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed the video so much and want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, because we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere. I got the boys review coming up next. So peace.